Hello, Jacob here again. Today, bringing you a look at Impact Winter. So, Impact Winter is a game which came out on the 22nd of May 2017 on Steam. It is currently £15.99 in the UK, so about $20. I'd probably say it's probably about $20. It is developed by a studio that goes by the name of Mojo Bones, who I think this might be their first game, certainly their first game on Steam, and it's published by BANDAI NAMCO Entertainment. And this is a game which I wasn't actually aware it existed until it popped up on Steam, and I saw it was published by BANDAI Namco, and the game looked quite interesting, so I bought it and I've played it for a few hours. And the interesting thing about this game is actually it's got a very mixed response so far. The game's actually got mostly negative reviews on Steam, and got Metacritic, the game's kind of got slightly mixed reviews, and Jim Sterling also published a video not long ago kind of saying that, I haven't watched it yet, but he was kind of had mixed feelings on it. So yeah, I was kind of interested to see what the game was like, so I played it for a few hours here, and I've made a decent bit of progress, so I'm going to play it, and I'll also give my impressions of it. So we'll continue here, and I'll explain the basics of the game to start with. So the first thing to say about the game is the first thing I'll say. Oh, she's sliding across the floor. No, she's walking now. Okay. So yeah, this is a survival game, essentially. There's also kind of a management game as well. It's kind of all sorts of different things at the same time, but primarily it's a survival game. So we're playing as this character here. This character is called Jacob, which I'm not sure whether the game knew my name and decided to call the character Jacob, or whether it's just a coincidence that we have the same name, but there you go. This is our home base anyway, this is a church. So we're playing, obviously, we've got this kind of group of survivors here. So basically the game's basic setup is that there was a meteor impact sort of several months ago, and North America's kind of been thrown to a long and cold winter because of this meteor that's hit the Earth, and we basically have to survive for 30 days in order to be rescued. So if we go to the let's see, there we go. So you start off with 30 days to survive. We're currently on 24 days left. But then as you complete actions in the game, complete quests and do various different things, you get experience. So you can see our RP level. There's currently RP level 7, close to RP level 8, and as you increase your level, you will decrease the timer slightly by several hours, usually about 3 or 4 hours. So you want to kind of be out in the open world. The game, once you get out of the church, the game is an open world. There's actually quite a lot of there's quite a lot to cover in this game. There's a lot of systems, and well, there's going to be a lot to cover, but we'll get through it. But yeah, you go out in the world and do quests for the characters. So if you go to events here, these are quests. So the 4 survivors in our group that aren't us will give you quests to complete, and you also can kind of get quests out in the world as well, which you can complete as well, like little miscellaneous quests. So you get rewards. You can see plus 250 RP, plus 500 for that one, plus 1,000 for that one. Okay, that's quite a lot actually. Yeah, so you want to do those and get the timer down. So obviously get the timer down is going to make it easy to make it to the 30-day survival limit. Make it to the goalpost at the end of the 30 days. But obviously, in order to make it there, you have to actually survive. So the characters have stats, as you can see. We've got energy. Let's go to the team. So you can see we've got energy. This is the top one with the little kind of stick man running. We've got heat, food, drink, and morale. Now you want to keep these stats topped up in order to keep your kind of survivors healthy. As I think if these kind of stats start going too low, they will start to lose health and eventually they will die. But obviously, I think if they die, then you're kind of screwed, because obviously you can't get new quests off them. And also these characters also craft items, and obviously once they die you won't be able to craft items. So if you go over to here, also got Wendy here, she can craft various recipes into food. And you want to keep her alive, obviously, because these are, you collect food out in the world, then you can use the food that you collect to craft recipes, which are they're basically more effective because you get 4 once you complete crafting recipe. You actually get 4 servings of it, but so you can give 1 to each character, which is more efficient than just kind of giving them random food that you found. So if you go over here, this is the ration area, so you can give characters rations they can use food and drink. So she's actually pretty happy, Wendy, but as you can see, our other characters here are kind of getting a bit low, and their morale is going down a bit as well. I think if their morale goes down, they start kind of arguing with each other and kind of start creating problems, and they just kind of get demoralised. But you can see here, we're actually running out of food. The game starts you off with quite a lot of food and stuff, but once you start using it, it does run out quite quickly. And the problem is that you go out in the world to collect food, but then when you kind of have to eat food yourself to stay alive, then it does mean you bring less food back. And yeah, we are struggling a bit to survive here after playing for a few hours of the game. So you see the crafting. Obviously, it's got a certain amount of food you need to bring back, and it's very specific what you need. And yeah, it's not easy to come by some of this stuff. It's actually kind of frustrating. There's also this fire here, so you've actually run out of fuel as well. But you have to like throw wood on the fire to keep the fire going in order to keep the place heated, and keep people warm. So let's have a look at this guy. Each character has different things they can craft. So this guy can craft upgrades for our little robot that follows us around and helps us. She crafts food. This person over here, Maggie, I think she's called. Yeah, she crafts kind of various upgrades to the base, which you can get. Which I've done a couple of. I've got a bigger furnace, which lets the fire last longer. I also got the hand generator as well, which lets create power. I'm not quite sure what the use for the power is yet, though, to be honest. And we got Blaine over here who crafts kind of survival items, so you can craft like a tent and stuff like that. Rat traps to capture rats, and the signpost markers, which kind of help you get back to base and stuff. Lockpicks as well, pretty handy for opening locked doors. But yeah, that's the basic setup. We're going to head out soon, and I'm going to do a little quest to show you what the game's like. Let's see. So, alright, while we're here, you can actually sleep in this bed. I'm not tired right now, but that will increase our energy. So you use energy when you're kind of running around in the world. You use energy, and obviously if you run out of energy, once it starts getting low, I think you start kind of slowing down, and your character kind of gets weaker. But doing certain actions will use more energy than others. Alright, so let's select a quest, and we'll head out. So you want to make sure when you start a quest you can actually complete it, because there's one quest here, Wendy's story. I had to go to a hospital and collect 4 journals. So I went to this hospital, where I traipsed all the way across the... Well, it's not a wasteland, the game's world is actually called the Void. But it's basically just like a frozen tundra, basically. I went all the way to this hospital, and I could only get 3 of the 4 journals, and I think the 4th one, I think I have to upgrade my little robot to get to it, because there's one area which I can access in the hospital. So I had to go all the way there and all the way back, and didn't really achieve very much, to be honest. But we're going to do this one, I think, Christoph's Story, because this one's quite close, I believe. Alright, so let's head out. See, that's the... there's a lot to cover in this game. Now, like I was saying earlier, this game is... so, I mentioned here, actually, the loading times in this game are a little bit long. Playing off an SSD here, sometimes the loading times do take a while to load. Obviously, it's loading up the open world now. And yeah, it does take a little while, maybe a bit longer than it kind of should, really. It does hitch up here. The game is actually frozen. The game will kind of load and it will hitch at the end of the loading screen and just kind of carry on for a few seconds for some reason. The first time this happened, I actually thought the game crashed, but it is going to load up here. It should do anyway. Even though it looks like it's crashed. It's going to load. Come on. Come on. Don't do this to me. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, it feels like the game's crashed there, but it actually hasn't. So this is the Void. Now, we've got a map here. So this is a basic map. It doesn't really help much because it doesn't actually show you where you are. But you can use this to kind of navigate a little bit if you kind of know where you are. Because you want to go back to the church. You kind of need to come back to the church kind of every now and then to obviously... Well, you want to recharge your ACO battery. So this little robot's called the ACO Light. And he's got a battery level, as you can see, 100%. Once that battery level runs down, obviously I think the radar turns off, and obviously it's going to be hard to get back to the church. You also want to get back to the church as well in order to kind of take items back and just kind of refuel and kind of set new crafting things as well. Because obviously you have to talk to people in order to craft, but you can actually, there are ways in order to stay out in the wasteland longer. So you can craft a tent, which will let you kind of sleep out in the wasteland, and it also has a little box which you can use to send items back. And also, I believe there's also a quest we're doing now which lets us talk to this one. Let's create a beacon which lets us communicate to the church. So presumably we'll have to kind of talk to our kind of survivors and give them new tasks to do, even though we're not back at the church. So you can actually stay out, as long as you kind of can eat and drink, you can stay out here pretty much as long as you want, really. Anyways, this is the quest. You have to get to this radio mast. Now, what actually wants to do? Let's look at the event. So he wants us to radio. You need a radio battery to use to power the mast. Enter the broken fence, it's the van for a battery, and then climb the mast to power it. Okay, not too difficult. Here's the van. So the little robot's got a little light on him as well, but it does use more battery. So, radio battery. That's what we need. So this is our inventory here. So the game does have a little bit of a kind of inventory Tetris in it, a little bit. So sometimes if things can't fit in the inventory, you will have to. We're actually getting a bit low on drink here. So just drink our bottle of water here to replenish our thirst. And we may as well eat the meat as well. We're at it. There we go. So we're topped up now on that. Oh, so this guy is actually going to go in our church and steal our supplies. So that does happen sometimes. Scavengers will come and steal your stuff. I believe you can upgrade the church, maybe make it a bit more difficult for it to happen. But obviously you don't want this happening because he's stolen some of our food and some of our healing items there as well, so it's not great. Let's grab this radio mast here. Get to the top, and then we'll put the battery in. And that should be the quest done. The quests are actually pretty easy to do, mostly. Okay, there we go. Battery in. That should give us a bit more RP, I believe. No, it's decreased the... Yeah, there we go. So, that increased the time by 3 hours to our rescue. We've just leveled up as well, if I look at it. Yep, leveled up. We're level 7 now? Yeah, so we're going to reduce the timer now by 5 hours. So we're down to 23 days and 20 hours now till we get rescued. And when you level up, you do get to choose a role here. So these roles you can assign to your survivors, and each one kind of has a positive and negative effect. So as you can see here, we've got quite a few unlocked here. It's got these two as well from leveling up. Successful scavengers never steal items. Injuries from scavengers are increased. Doesn't sound too bad actually, that one. Venture outside to hunt animals. Okay. I think we're going to take this one. So we're going to take that one because sending out our people to scavenge food is actually handy because we're getting really low on food here. So now they've got the basics covered, I guess I should probably move on to kind of how I feel about the game, I guess. So obviously, as I mentioned earlier, the game, we're going to go back now, by the way. I'm going to send out my survivors to one of them to go hunting, I think, because we're really in desperate need of some food here. So yeah, we're going to talk a little about how I feel about the game, I guess. We'll talk to this guy first. This is a nomad, I believe, over here. So this guy will he will give you a reward, but you have to give him items in order to get the reward. So if you talk to him, he wants old 45 records. And he wants 10 of them. If you can give him 10 of those, he will give us a reward for it. But yeah, getting 10 of those is actually quite difficult. So I've already found a couple, and the problem is with this game is that the inventory is so limited. Obviously, you can upgrade it, obviously, as you can see here, but I'm not sure how you actually do that. I mean, obviously, presumably you need like an upgraded backpack, although I'm not sure if you can craft it or if you can find one. So far, I've not really come across how you actually do that so far. Let's head back into the church, briefly. Yeah, like I said, there is a lot to cover, so I'm going to do my best to kind of cover as much as I can about this game. Alright, let's talk to this guy. Talk to Christoph. Okay, so there's no voice acting in the game. And the game on voice acting would be nice, but it's not a deal breaker, but it would be nice to have. Let's see what he says. Prior to the asteroid, I had a lot of data stored on BirdTech Dynamic BDXXX program. Data that would be beneficial to us right now. If I could access the information, I could make further improvements to the Acre Lights firmware. I was working from a small basement on Pembroke Street beyond the airport to the north. Maybe you and A could like to find and reclaim the data. Yeah, server room's locked. Bring back the server panel, but be warned, it's big and will take most of the inventory space and plan accordingly. So you give us a new quest to do, which will unlock new upgrades. So if we go to the crafting here on him, obviously, we only got a limited amount of crafting here. But once we complete more quests, we get more crafting options. So if let's then talk to this guy over here. Let's see. Sometimes this happens as well. Sometimes random events will happen where you have to. They'll say they want you to do something. They want to do something. You have to kind of give them permission to do it. But sometimes they have negative effects. So see what he says. Talked to Wendy earlier. She got me thinking about my favourite cocktail. The thing was called Blue Blitzer. Can't believe she knew how to make one. If you can find the right stuff, maybe she can make us one. Yeah, sure. Why not? That's a new event. Okay. To find the ingredients. So go to the events here. As you can see, it will tell you what to collect. So to make the Blue Blitzer, we have to get vodka, beer, and soda, 2 times soda grape. Alright, so yeah, we can do that at some point, I suppose. They're probably not in this video because I think we're probably gonna someone's probably gonna end up dying soon because we're kind of getting low on supplies and stuff here. I kind of need to go out and just kind of scavenge. We've got plenty of water, but we need I should probably go out and scavenge some food because we're getting really, really low. Yeah, it's not great. Let's just pick an event and we'll head back out anyway. I won't do that one, I suppose. Reinforced rope. Okay, that's quite an easy one to do. You have got seeds, so you collect seeds in the world, and the seeds are basically currency. So if you find a shopkeeper, you can use the seeds to buy stuff that you need, basically. So you can't really do that one because that means go back to the hospital. I'm playing with a controller, by the way. The game supports keyboard and mouse, obviously, but the game's keyboard and mouse support doesn't really seem that great. It seems like the game really wants to be played with a controller, really. So I just played with a controller. What's Blaine's story? He wants to build a trap. We need a wooden springle though to get the trap. Okay, we'll do the reinforced rope, I guess. Alright, so we're gonna head back out, and we're gonna finally kind of we're getting really low on fuel as well. I probably should just go out and just find some supplies, really. Right, we're finally gonna talk about the game now properly. So we're gonna head out and do a bit of an explore now. Yeah, the game's probably gonna do the little kind of weird freeze here when it loads, I expect. Here we go. It's gonna freeze here for a few seconds and feel like it's gonna crash, but actually hasn't. Okay, well, let's head over to where we need to go. So the first thing I want to say about this game is that there's a lot of walking. So we're in this kind of frozen void here, and obviously you need to walk to get to where you need to go. But the problem is it's not really that interesting because we've got our marker here on the map to where we need to go to. Now, luckily the map itself isn't actually that big, so it doesn't take that long to get to where you need to go. But the game involves a lot of kind of walking in a straight line without really a whole lot happening, really. Sometimes you will kind of come across kind of places in the world to kind of scavenge. You'll come across like a building to go into, or find like a little survivor. You'll give you like a little quest and stuff. Mostly you are just kind of running through the snow without a whole lot really happening. So one thing I'm going to mention here is that as I mentioned, the game being kind of scrappy. So obviously the game's kind of got this. When you walk through the snow, you can hear the footprints. So when you walk in this concrete, I think the noise, the sound effect for walking would change, but we've still got the walking through snow sound effect, even though we're walking on concrete here, which is a little bit. This isn't great, There are just kind of little things like that which kind of hold the game kind of back, It's not a big deal, that one, but it's just kind of a good example of the game kind of being, kind of scrappy, and the game doesn't really have the the kind of attention to detail which you maybe kind of hope for from a game that's published by Bandai Namco, which is obviously a AAA game publisher. So we'll move on to other things. So one complaint I have against the game as well is that you have to hit the pause button a lot to get the information. So there's obviously a lot of things going on. You need to keep track of the events, and you need to keep track of your stats and your team stats and inventory and all this kind of stuff. But every time you want to do it, you have to pause the game. Actually, here's the radar. So the radar will kind of show you nearby places that you've discovered. So once you discover a place, it will just show up here. and the little circles of things you haven't discovered yet. And like I said, if you look at here, there's a lot of just wasted space here. Like I said, we've got our inventory, we've got our map in the top right. It would be nice if we could just have our stats like on the right, and just have our team stats, you know, displayed here on the screen. This feels like it's just a waste of space of the you know, heads-up display. There could be more. There could be more on screen here to kind of give us, so we don't have to keep pausing the game all the time to just look at all this stuff, you know. Like I said, it would be nice if we could have like a, you know, so we've got our event here. And it says, you know, what items we need to collect. Why not just have a, you know, list of, if we've got a quest selected, why not just have, you know, the list of items on the right hand side, and have maybe our character stats on the top of the screen so we can see them without having to pause the game all the time. There are just kind of little things about this game which are frustrating, which kind of hold it back, you know. Alright, so we're getting close to where we need to go, I believe. Shouldn't be too far now. Right, I found a Big Bucks diner. Ah, nice. So we're gonna actually go in here because we are in desperate need of food, so we're gonna have to go in here and have a little bit of an explore. So the loading times to get to inside buildings isn't too bad. It's basically loading the open world, which takes a long time. Right, so hopefully there should be a lot of food in there for us to scavenge. Now, one thing that's annoying as well is the like, so once you go into a building, you obviously scavenge items. But you kind of just have to just run around just tapping the A button on items. Like, it would be nice if there was like what you could loot is highlighted, so you could actually just run over to it directly. Because what you can and can't loot isn't that obvious here. So, you know, like, can we loot this table? No. Can we loot this? We can loot this, you know. But it doesn't make it that obvious. It would be nice if the game had a bit more direction. You know, like if you could, the game's going to say, you know, there's food in this container here. There's food. Go over and loot it. You know, rather than having to just kind of run around and keep tapping the A button all the time. But it seems like there's plenty of food here for us to collect, so we're going to take some of this food. Yeah, we're going to take all of this. We're not going to take the rotten food though. Although there is one of the upgrades you can opt for your character does let characters eat rotten food without getting ill, I believe. So that you can kind of build your character and build your kind of characters that way if you want. We should be all right here. So we found some food finally, which is good. So yeah, this is kind of where the management element of the game kind of comes in, because you do have to kind of prioritise what you need to do at certain times. So right now we just need food, and we need fuel as well. So fuel is just basically just things you can burn. So basically, if you can find wood, or like, you know, pillows or teddy bears or stuff like that, that is gonna be like super handy, because you can burn them. Okay, so yeah, like I said, our fire is almost run out. So we're basically stocked up on food now. I really need to upgrade the inventory and make it bigger, but I don't know how to do it. So the game does not really give you that much information. Well, it does at the start, because at the start of the game kind of gives you like a massive info dump. The first, so this is locked, so if you don't have the key, you can pick the lock. We have got a lock pick, I believe, yeah. But the lock pick can break when you try and open locked doors. So unless you really need to get into a room, it's probably best to not use your lockpick unless you're like desperate. Because usually you can find the key to doors if you just kind of look around. So here are these old 45 records. We can take these and give them to the Nomad if we wanted to, but we're just going to go back to the church stand and take this food back. I think because we desperately need food. Now, this is where the tent will come in handy, because if you had a tent nearby. Now, I have got one tent set up somewhere, but it's not anywhere near here. But if you've got a tent set up, obviously you can go to the tent and send your food back to the church, and then carry on exploring without having to go back. Because now we have to run all the way back, and yeah, you can see what I mean about the game being a lot of running around, without, you know, kind of aimlessly kind of walking around without really that much happening. Now it's not that big of a deal, because I believe it's a big deal now. I believe that later on in the game you can actually craft a snowmobile. It did say in the hints, in the kind of hint section, that there's a snowmobile that you can craft, which obviously lets you, you know, go faster through the snow. I also believe that there's spike boots you can craft as well, which will let you run faster through the snow. Yeah, see, because now we're gonna have to run all the way back. Now I'm not gonna make you watch this. I'm actually just I think this one we'll just kind of speed up the running through here, and then maybe later on I will. You know, edit this bit out. It's kind of the running, because it's not really that enjoyable to watch, and it's really not that enjoyable to play either. Just kind of walking back to the church, you know, it's not that fun. Yeah, like I said, there are elements which obviously alleviate that, like I said, setting up tents to let you send items back, and obviously getting items that you kind of walk fast, or you know, getting vehicles that you get through the snow quicker as well. But yeah, I'm going to stop talking now and fast forward this bit here, running back. Okay, so I made it back to the church. As you can see there was a good 2 to 3 minutes there of just kind of walking without nothing really happening. But we have got food now at least, so we can put the food back in the storage here. Okay, so we'll move the food back over. Now, hopefully we should have enough here to craft. Hopefully we can craft some food now. Hopefully with Maggie. Is it Maggie? Wendy. Yeah, hopefully now we can craft some food. Craft like some recipes. Hopefully. It's not the end of the world if we can, because we did get quite a bit of food there, so we'll give us a little bit of time to survive with that food we got there. But let's go talk to Wendy, see if we can craft something. Yeah, because crafting is your best bet when it comes to food. Now we can craft the Boston beans. Okay, that's good. That's it. So let's change our role. These are all the roles that I've unlocked. So I'll never get into which one should we do? Probably quick worker. Crafting times are decreased. The chance of getting an injury is increased when crafting. Craft against faster, iron stomach. Okay, so we'll go for the where is it? Quick worker. So we'll give her a quick worker, and we'll tell her to craft the Boston beans. So she's going to craft that, and we're going to get 4 portions of Boston beans. Okay, so it's going to take time for her to craft. She's going to hopefully get cracking soon. But like I said, we really need fuel now because we've completely run out of fuel, and we've only got 12 hours left on the fire. Obviously, once the fire runs out, the characters, I've just had a brain fart. The characters' heating level will start to decrease. Anyway, so we've got Boston beans now, so that's good at least. If we go to the ration area now, we should be able to give each character Boston beans. We should, Boston beans. Here we go, Boston beans. 22 food and 22 energy, so we'll give each character one of those, and that's enough to keep us going for at least the time being anyway. Switch character, there we go, Boston beans. There we go. Yeah, the crafting, you definitely would want to craft if you can. Food is really helpful. Boston beans for you, and Boston beans for you. She needs some drink as well, so we'll give her. We've got plenty of water and drink at the moment as well, which is good. Plus, we just got a ton from that burger bar as well, which is quite good. And bottled water is your best bet, really. She's fine with water, I guess. Give her one of the smaller ones. So you do want to kind of manage your food and your water here as best you can in order to kind of maximise the value here. Obviously, certain items give you multiple stats, so you know if your energy is full, you don't really want to give somebody food that gives them energy. If you want to give them something else, so you don't really waste it, you know. That should be enough to keep us going anyway. So we're going to head back out into the void, I suppose. Let's talk to this guy. He's got an event. Hey kid, I think I heard a wolf close to the church. It sounded wounded. I think I should go outside and try and track it. Okay, so I'm going to say yes, because we need food. He is going to take some damage from it. We got nice. We got a bunch of stuff. So we've got some animal fat and some a pelt, so we can use this to prolong the fire a little bit. So it gives us a bit more time at least. Yeah, getting enough, getting enough supplies in the game is not easy. You do have to. It is a struggle to survive in this game. Although so far I've not actually died. Like I said, we've played for. We're down to 23 days left, and I'm not. My character hasn't died, and I've not had any survivors die either. Although, like I said, we have come a little bit close with a little bit of a close call there with the food. I'm not sure what happens when you die. I'm guessing that if you die, you go back. You have to start again. But I'm guessing the RP level will. Maybe you'll start again, but you'll keep your RP level. So maybe multiple playthroughs, kind of each playthrough, you get closer and closer to getting to the end. I think that's what happens. But I'm not 100% sure if that's the case. Now, talk about combat, I guess. So I believe the game does have some sort of combat, because if we go over to here, there are weapons in the game which you can get. So I've got a combat bow here. I've actually got 2 of them actually. But I've not actually got any ammo for this combat bow yet, so there's not much point taking it. And so yeah, I think you can like fight. I've not come across like any human enemies yet, but I have come across wolves. There's a couple of wolves. I just avoided them because I couldn't really fight them. I'm guessing you can, like, you can engage in combat with like animals and stuff. Let's get some food. So we do have to take some stuff with us when we're going to go out. So we'll take a bottle of water with us, and we'll take some. We'll take this raw meat in a second. So you can cook the raw meat on the fire, which I believe will give you make it kind of more nutritious. I believe. Let's cook the raw meat. Let's cook that raw meat. What do you have to cook the vegetables? Canned tuna. I'm guessing there are certain things which probably aren't good to cook. Like sort of cooking peaches probably isn't a good idea. But yeah, cooking the meat also, I think it makes it better, more nutritious. I think it makes you less likely to get ill from it as well. Probably. I assume so anyway. But we're going to head back out. We're going to do another quest here, and hopefully get some fuel as well for the fire because we're getting low on fuel. So yeah, this is that's kind of Impact Winter in a nutshell, really. You go out into the open world, collect items, do quests, do various tasks in order to kind of get the timer down as well. There are kind of various things you can do, like so we showed earlier about going up the radio mast, and there are kind of things you can do as well. There are vans which you can actually break into with explosives, which will reduce the timer a bit as well. What else can you do? There are beacons you can place as well. So sometimes the kind of echo will kind of flash red. If you've got a beacon on you can place the beacon down, and that will reduce the timer as well. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this game. It's quite a lot to kind of take in. But it's not too bad, because like I said, as long as you kind of take on one thing at a time, it's not too bad. Obviously, ideally you want to be going out in the world and kind of doing multiple tasks at the same time in order to make the most of your time out here. But anyway, we're going to head over to this objective marker. I will. Well, I fast forwarded last time. I kind of want to fast. I could just edit, just cut it out. But I guess fast forwarding it is a better idea. So just give you a better idea of like how long it will take to kind of get through here. So yeah, I'll fast forward running across the void here so we get to the objective. Okay, so we seem to have made it to our objective here. So it took a few minutes to get here. Going forward, I'll probably just edit the running out. Yeah, it does take a long time to run across the run across to the where you need to go, but it's not too bad. Like I said, once you kind of start upgrading your character, it shouldn't be too bad. Over time. Now, we apparently need to trade with this guy to get the ingredients we need to craft the rope. Hopefully we gather enough seeds. Right, so this guy's over here. Yeah, we've got 150 seeds. Now, what do we need? So we need to buy a long rope, steel rope, and reinforced steel thread. Alright, so let's talk to him again. So let's see. Reinforced steel thread. Okay, we've got enough for one of those. We'll buy one of those. You could just buy all the stuff from him. So what was this? A long rope, reinforced steel thread, and something else. This is where having the having information on the screen here will be handy. It saves us having to kind of go through all the menus over and over again. Let's see, steel rope. Okay. So you got any steel rope? There we go, steel rope. Okay, so we've got the items we need. So yeah, I mean, that now it's a long traipse back to the church now. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to explore a little bit, and we've gone for 40 minutes already. So we'll just go kind of exploring, see if we can find some fuel, and I'll probably explain the game. Well, I say we're going for 40 minutes. Obviously, I've fast forwarded a couple of little bits, so the video's not quite that long yet. But we've been playing for a while. One thing I will say about this game is that if you want value for your money, it seems as though there's quite a bit of value here. Like I said, I've played for probably about 4 hours now, and I'm still kind of scratching the surface of what the game kind of has to offer. Really, there's still a long way to go till we get rescued. And there's still a lot of the map having explored, there's lots of quests to do and stuff, so there's plenty of content in the game at least, I'll say that much. So, yeah, do I think the game really deserves the kind of scorn that it's gotten? I mean, to be honest, I actually like this game. I honestly do like it. So, I'm not sure where we are. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to place a marker, I guess. Maybe somewhere around here. Have you got one? It's got another entry. There we go. So if we place a marker here, this will place it here. So that marker there is pointing towards the church. So if we run out of battery and we can't find the church on our mini-map, if we come across one of our markers that we placed, we will be able to make our way back eventually. So you would kind of want to take those. You really want to take one of those with you every time and just kind of place it in a random spot, just in case, So we can actually come. Oh, where's our maker? Where's our little things isn't actually with us for some reason. Our little robot. I'm not sure where he's gone. Have a look at our stats just to make sure we're doing okay. We're getting a bit low on energy. We'll see the raw meat. The cooked meat, I mean. That'll okay, shrink the water as well. There we go. Yeah, I'm sure our little robot's gone. He seems to have bugged out. So the game is a little bit buggy, to be honest. Here he is. Yeah, like I said, he's not quite sure why he got stuck there, but he's on his way now. Yeah, he seems to be stuck. Also, running upstairs is also a bit awkward as well. Like, sometimes your character will get stuck running upstairs, which is kind of infuriating and a bit of a pain, really. I don't understand why he's stuck. He's following us now. Let's see if we can get him to follow us over the bridge. No, he's stuck. Okay, that's not great. So yeah, the game is kind of buggy in spots. There's nothing like game breaking in the game, but there are like kind of quite annoying bugs and weird kind of things that happen sometimes, which is a bit of a pain, really. Yeah, he's following me here, but he doesn't want to come across the bridge for some reason. And I'm going to explore some more, and then we'll kind of wrap the video up, I believe, then, I think. Because I think you've got a good idea what the game's like now. Come on, there you go. See, we're kind of getting stuck here on these kind of planks here as well. That happens kind of too often, really. It's kind of a bit of a bloody pain in the ass to deal with. So maybe if we... That's probably why the robot was getting stuck, because he was also getting stuck there. He's kind of getting stuck there for some reason. We're just going to have to leave him, I guess. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you can do useful things. You can get him to send out like a radar ping, which will let you kind of find items in the world. And also, once you upgrade your robot, you can do other things as well. Like I said, you can crack through this ice once you upgrade him. And also, presumably, there's like items hidden under that ice and stuff. So yeah, Impact Winter. Like I said, I do like it. I don't think the game really deserves the kind of negative reception it's got from some people necessarily. At least not in my opinion. The game has certainly got its problems. It's certainly kind of frustrating to play at times, and there are elements of it which are kind of boring. Like I said, just kind of running around here in the snow is not really that enjoyable. But I think the game is a pretty good survival experience. It certainly isn't a game for everyone. This is a game which requires quite a lot of patience and requires somebody who enjoys a laid-back experience. I think this isn't an action game. This is a game where you will explore, scavenge, and manage characters, manage meters, and you have to. You actually kind of need that robot because if it gets dark, we kind of need this flashlight. Although his flashlight is turning on even though he's nowhere near us, which is a bit odd. Someone said anything in this truck. Can we scavenge this truck? No. Oh, we can. There we go. A C4. Okay, we'll take the C4. The C4 is actually super handy. Okay, well the C4 just disappeared there, even though we took it. So for some reason one of them disappeared. A bit odd. Alright, ammo, okay, handgun clip. So we'll take that. I haven't actually got a handgun. Yeah, like I said, the weapons and ammunition are kind of really hard to come by. Okay, so it's actually starting to get dark. But yeah, like I said, combat is kind of fairly infrequent, it seems. I've not actually had a single combat engagement in the game so far. I've only come across 2 enemies during the whole game, and I just, like I said, I just avoided them and just kind of, I just avoided them and run past them. Alright, we'll see if we can find a building to go in or something. Yeah, I kind of wish this map was more useful, really. I guess if this map was more useful, it'd be kind of too easy to navigate where you're going. It's kind of just supposed to give you a general idea, but yeah, the map isn't really that useful at all. But yeah, I think this game is certainly worth the asking price. Like I said, there is plenty of content here on offer. You know, there's you're going to get your money's worth. And to be honest, I've actually had a reasonable amount of fun playing it, despite my kind of problems I have with it and the kind of annoying elements and the kind of bugs I've come across as well. I've not had a bad time with the game. It's fun to explore. It's fun to kind of find new things and upgrade your character, get upgrades and make things kind of make your base more efficient. And it is it's not easy as well. Like I said, it is even though the game is kind of frustrating to play, it is quite satisfying to once things are going well, it is satisfying. Once you kind of got ample food supplies and everything's going well, it is quite good. We found something over here at least. Okay, so yeah, if we want to find stuff, obviously we can open up this menu here, and the radar will kind of give you at least an idea of where to go to find stuff. So we found a cave here. It's a trader. Okay. I haven't really got any seeds. I want to find like a building we can loot so I can get some fuel, really. But yeah, this is a game which I think some people are going to really enjoy. I'm not really shocked that some people don't like this game, because yeah, it certainly is certainly an acquired taste, and I think there are some people who are going to play this for a few hours and just think it's really, really boring. Like, why am I just kind of walking around this kind of tundra with nothing really happening? But once you kind of dig into, this is quite annoying as well. Sometimes you come across these kind of caverns, and you kind of you can't cross them. You need a bridge to get across. Nice. There might be some fuel in here. We come across like a gas station. Nice. And these ravines, you need a bridge to get across. So sometimes you are just kind of walking along them just to like find a bridge. Now let's get in here. We'll try and get some fuel. Then we'll go up to the church and complete our little task that we were given by Maggie, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, okay. So our robots come back now at least. Oh, what was that? Oh, okay. So we've got a scavenger stole some stuff from our base, annoyingly. But again, like I said, it is there's food here at least. But we don't really need food. We want really, I want some fuel, really. Although obviously we can actually, it's quite handy here because we can actually fuel up a little bit. So we can actually just eat and drink here. Beef jerky, we'll take that. Eat the vegetable soup. So we're going to stack up on stuff here at least. As you can see, you can actually stay out in the wasteland for quite a long time, especially if you've got ample supplies. And if you've got tents set up, you can obviously send stuff back. So if we had if you could find one of our tents, I've only got one at the moment. But if you could find a tent, you could send some of this stuff back in our inventory and carry on exploring. We are going to have to go back to the church here. Now, is there some fuel in here? Because I came in here looking for fuel, really. Peppercorns. Okay, well, we've got drink. We'll take that. That'll be handy, that water. We'll drink some of these sody pops. Pretty good now, actually. Yeah, is there no fuel in here? I thought this was... here we go. Motor. We've got a large motor. So there's some crafting items in here. They're not really quite what I wanted. Like I said, I want fuel, because our fire is going to run out at the base, and we're going to be screwed once that runs out. Let's head out anyway. We can explore a bit more though, because we did get some food and drink there at least, so we can go exploring a bit more. So the hints down here do give you a bit of a kind of story of what's kind of going on a little bit. We'll kind of explain the kind of character's backstory a bit, which is quite nice. I mean, yeah, there is like a really solid game here. Though, like I said, the game looks really good. The way they kind of make a trail of snow behind you when you walk through the snow is quite nice. I actually quite like the soundtrack as well. It's kind of in the background a bit. It's kind of quite ambient, the soundtrack, but it is does do a quite good job of kind of setting the mood of what's going on. But yeah, like I said, I do want to play more of this game. Like I said, I want to keep progressing and keep getting more stuff. Like I said, we can start hunting now. Hopefully, if we can complete some more quests. I've got a rat trap in my inventory here. If you can find a rat, we could trap a rat inside that trap if we wanted to. This is where you can set up a tent here in this spot here, but we haven't got one. I mean, yeah, the game, as you can see, the game does look pretty nice. Like I said, the lighting effects coming off the little robot's quite good as well. We've got plenty of battery, so we're just going to keep kind of exploring a bit more. Yeah, you see here the kind of bugginess. You can see making a track, our snow track behind us. It's a little bit kind of bugged out here, a little bit. Can you climb this ladder? No, okay. Doesn't seem like it. I've no idea where we are, but as long as we've got battery, we can make it back to the church at least. Yeah, it's far from perfect though, Impact Winter. It's certainly got a lot of frustrating elements, and there are like a lot of things which could be better about this game, but I kind of have a hard time calling it a bad game or calling it over. Like, the overall experience is enjoyable in this game. I can't really say I've had a bad time playing it, to be honest. I come across some sort of fence here. Yeah, this is quite annoying then when you come across these kind of barriers and you can't get through. Like, it is a bit annoying, these. Like, so you just have to run along the length of this fence here to find a way around. Let's look at our radar. There's nothing nearby here. Yeah, I'm going to wrap up soon though. I'm going to try and find some fuel and then just head back to the church, and that'll be the end of the video, I think, because we have been going for almost an hour here. Yeah, this is probably the worst part of the game, I think, is just kind of walking through the snow without really much happening. And so having that... Oh shit, there's a bloody cavern here which you can't get across. I have to go back up this way now. Yeah, this is really annoying. I wish this wasn't here, these kind of just caverns that you can't cross without like a bridge. Right? Come across the bridge. This is the bridge. Okay. Can't get across it. No, it's broken. Okay, I have to keep going here. What was I saying? Yeah, like I said, having the snowmobile, I'm guessing that's like a late game item. Having that or having these spiked, the spiked boots would be handy because, just kind of trudging through the snow is not that enjoyable. The game's at its best when you're like scavenging and making progress. When you're just kind of aimlessly running around like this, it's not really all that great, to be honest. There's a rock here, but we can't get across that rock. Oh, okay. We're back here. We just come around a big circle. Great. Okay. It would be nice if the game just had a little bit more direction sometimes. Like I said, it would be nice to... Sometimes when you're on a quest, sometimes it would be nice to just kind of tell you which place to scavenge. Like, sometimes you'll be looking for items in that kind of loot. You'll be looting an area, and you have to just kind of loot all of the places just to find the thing that you actually need. Like, so it would be nice if it kind of gives us a bit of direction where to go here as well. Sometimes you are just kind of aimlessly wandering around with nothing happening. Yeah, I'm going to pretty much wrap up here, because we have been going for an hour, almost, and I think you've got a good idea what this game's like now anyway. So yeah, that's Impact Winter, by, what are they called again, the developer? Mojo Bones. Yeah, I am kind of intrigued if they, like I said, if this game does well enough, maybe we can get like a sequel. If a sequel can kind of iron out the problems this game has, it would be like really, really awesome game. They could make something really, really awesome. But as it stands, this game is pretty decent, I think. I think it's definitely worth at least looking at. If you... Ooh, some more tracks there. Like I said, I would at least give this game a chance. Even though there are a lot of people that have kind of called the game over and said it's not that great. But I think it's worth a look. There's certainly a lot... You can certainly do a lot worse than this. And the cool thing about this game is it is quite unique. There isn't really anything else quite like this that I can really think of. Also, there are other kind of survival games, but having this kind of survival game, also having these kind of management elements as well on top, kind of makes for quite a unique and interesting experience. I found a sinkhole. Okay, let's go into the sinkhole, I guess. Okay, we need a stronger rope. Yeah, okay, so that's what we're working on, isn't it? Making a stronger rope. But I do like these elements though, where you're kind of slowly progressing here. You're getting, as you, God's sake, we're kind of stuck on this. We're stuck here. Like, so this really needs to get sorted out, or this kind of getting stuck on the environment. It's so frustrating. Yeah, I really like it though, how you're kind of progressing slowly, and as you progress, you're getting more, getting more items and abilities, which let you kind of explore more and find new stuff. But there just needs to be more to do, like out in the world. Like I said, it is just very empty, the world. Like I said, having more combat in the game would be nice. Like I said, the game does have some sort of combat in it, it seems, but yeah, the combat doesn't really seem to be the game's focus, but having like bears and wolves and stuff attacking you and fighting them would just kind of break up the monotony of just kind of walking here, But yeah, I think we're just going to head back to the church and kind of wrap up now, because I'm having a hard time trying to find something, something decent to do here, Well, we'll head back to the church, I guess. The fire's probably almost run out now, as this is the beacon here. Once you get close to a beacon, it will go green, and then you can place a beacon here, but we haven't actually got one in our inventory. The placing the beacon will reduce the rescue timer by a couple of hours. Yeah, even after playing the game for several hours, there's still like a ton I haven't seen. I still haven't had a single combat encounter. Like, there's still just there's like a ton of stuff going on in this game. It's certainly ambitious. To be honest, they probably, like Mojo Bones, they probably bit off more than they could chew for this game. Maybe they should have kind of scaled the game back a bit and kind of focused on making what's in the game really solid, rather than having like so many different things going on. But the overall game just kind of feels a bit, disparate. There's all these elements, but they don't really come together in kind of one kind of cohesive whole. So here's actually a campsite. So we can actually, if we go over here, go to our deposit box, we can actually send items back here. So if we send back the C4, extract the rope. Send back the bullets, send back the rope. So we can send back all that back, and the robot should the robot is going to send that stuff back, I believe, at some point. Anyway, I think we have to go to sleep actually first. Sleep. Okay, so I think if we sleep, we will take these stuff back, I believe. Yeah, there we go. So going to sleep will regenerate our energy. And yeah, the items have been sent back now, which is quite handy. Obviously, if we could communicate with our people back there, which we can't do yet, we could give them tasks to do, because at the moment they're just kind of not really doing anything. They're just all kind of idle, not really doing anything. Yeah, I think that's this game's biggest downfall though, is that there's just so much going on. It's just kind of overwhelming, And I guess the idea is that you kind of play. Maybe like eventually when you actually die, you start a new playthrough. You'll kind of, you'll kind of slowly kind of get more and more stuff and kind of progress more as you go. But it is just overwhelming a bit, I just wanted to find something to do. There's some stuff over here we can go have a look at. But as you can see, you can spend quite a long time out here though, because the battery on the robot's only down to 83%. Now we can do this, send out a little radar ping, which will. If there's an item nearby which you can get, we'll kind of display it, but does use doing that does use battery up. But let's see what this is over here first. If this is nothing, I will just go back to the church. So the weather's actually changed now, so there's actually a blizzard now. The blizzard actually makes us walk slower, and I think it makes us use more energy as well. So yeah, we don't really want to be out in a blizzard really. So we come across the sunny inn here. So we could scavenge this area a little bit. Okay, we'll scavenge this area, head back, and that'll be the end, I think, of the video. Yeah, as you can see here, medicine, nice. Yeah, like I said, it would be nice here just to have things you can scavenge highlighted, because, it's just frustrating just kind of walking around. I was just trying to have a go at the lockpick here, see if we can open this door. Ah, nice, worked. So usually locked doors will have kind of fairly good things behind them. Ah, nice. Ah, good. So we can... these clothing items, we can take these and we can actually burn them. So we have got some fuel at least. I'll take some drink. Now, you can actually get drunk if you drink too much alcohol. That hasn't actually happened to me yet. Let's take this shoe. Nice. Okay, so that's that was a success at least, finding this room here. Take the beef. Actually, we can eat the beef jerky, I guess. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the game does look quite nice, as you can see. It's another locked door. I think we're just going to leave that and head back because we got enough. We got some fuel. I don't really want to break my lockpick. There's like a nice attention to detail. Because you might notice in the kind of corners, there is kind of the corners of the screen are kind of frozen a little bit, which is like a nice touch as well. But yeah, that is Impact Winter. I'm gonna head back to the church. So we'll fast forward this bit, I think, because it might take us a little while to get back there. And then I'll wrap up, and that'll be the end of the video. We'll just head back. Oh, well, I'm going to fast forward here anyway, so... yeah, I'll be back once we get back to the church. Ooh, arrows! Okay, well, maybe back to the church. It didn't take me too long, at least, to get back. Alright, so first things first, there's some fuel on the fire because the fire's almost gone. Well, the fire, we used up all our fuel, but the fire has got another 24 hours to go at least. Let's talk to Wendy. She's got something. Looks like whoever was in the church before us had some food supplies. I found some old jars that could contain some food ingredients. Lots to look through, but it'll be boring. Well, we need food, so get on with it. Let's see if she can craft anything now. Oh, because she can craft some coffee, hot chocolate, tea, herbal tea. Let's have her craft some hot chocolate. That'll do the job, I think. Let's talk to Maggie here. Get out of the way. There we go. She's going to go craft. Find some spare parts. I mean, you pretty much always want to do this, even though it does decrease your stats. Items are kind of so hard to come by, at least at the moment, that just getting more stuff is just like really, really useful, you know. Because like I said, getting the items to craft stuff is quite hard, you know. But oh yeah, we did complete a quest. We did get the stuff to craft something, didn't we? Because where was it? Did she do it? We crafted that, but she wanted us to craft a reinforced rope. I thought we got a long rope. Oh, I guess we didn't get a long rope. I thought we bought a long rope from that. Oh, we're stuck. There we go. From that shopkeeper. Apparently, we didn't. Oh well. Alright, let's give each character hot chocolate anyway. That should boost them morale and give them some more energy at least. So yeah, that's Impact Winter anyway. I like it. It is a heavily flawed game, this one. It certainly isn't a great game. There is a lot of problems. There are a lot of things which could be better about this game. But I have a hard time really saying it's pretty bad, really. There's a lot to like here. It just could be a lot better in many ways. Like I said, there's certain quality of life improvements that could be made to the game to make it less frustrating to play, and you know, having just more stuff to do out in the world would make it a lot better as well, rather than just a lot of just running around aimlessly. But you know, just the act of trying to survive and scavenging is fairly enjoyable in this game. and I like it. Yeah, I mean that's kind of it really. I've covered most of what I want to kind of say about this game now, I think. So I think we're just going to wrap up because we have been going for over an hour here. So that's Impact Winter on Steam now for £16 or about $20. Developed by Mojo Bones and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment. I've been Jacob. You can leave me a like, comment, subscribe, dislike. You can do all that bullshit that people say, and I'll see you next video. So, bye for now. Bye! Okay, so I ended the video, but I actually forgot that I did get some arrows when I was running back to the church. So I'm just going to add this bit onto the end. So yeah, here's the bow and arrow in action. So we've got some arrows. We can draw a bow and fire an arrow and kind of aim it with the right stick. So I don't think you can actually cancel the shot now I pulled it. So yeah, that's the kind of combat. But obviously you need to find something to kill with the bow and arrow in order for it to be much use. But just thought I'd just do this little clip here just to at least kind of show it off anyway. To be honest, it kind of feels a little bit not great, to be honest, this bow and arrow. I guess it's fine, I guess, but it doesn't really feel all that great, to be honest. But there you go. That is an argument at the church. So that does happen sometimes. Yeah, just create this little clip just to show off that there is kind of combat in the game at least. But yeah, that'll do it. See you. Bye for now. Bye!